There, babies. I hate to disturb y'all, but Benelli and I are going to go down to the water and make a few casts, so y'all are going to have to leave. Y'all can stay there if you want, but I know that you get a little nervous when Benelli starts jumping around out here. She gets so excited about going fishing. So, but I thought that I'd go down there and fish a little bit. I might catch a big fish. Caught one down there the other day that weighed 9 pounds, 6 ounces. Okay, Jimmy, you've already bragged about that. You could quit bragging about that. I'm not bragging about it. I'm just informing y'all of the news. But what a great way to start out another ranch video. I may just start a little video deal for our fishing channel. Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing. I got 17,000 people over there. We broke that off of the ranch channel, so it's its own channel right now. But we got that. I might just do a little deal of going down there fishing every evening while I'm here. I'm not going to be here a whole lot many more days, but going down there at the dock and look at it this evening. Now, if you were here with me, could you stand up here and look at that? Even that old dock broken down, kind of dangerous, but could you stand up here and look at that? Or would you go fishing? Well, I know what you would do. You'd go fishing. Look at that, dead calm. So I might start a little deal and do a little video and show you whether I catch one or none or 10. I caught 19 the other day, 13 another day. The day I caught the 9 pound, 6 ouncer, I had 6 that evening. Let's go see what we can catch. Okay, guys and girls, let's see what happened. I got to tell you that a lot of evenings I don't get a bite down here. I mean, don't get a single bite. Right now with those fish out in the middle rolling around like they are, there's just got to be a school of shad around close for be any bass around close enough to catch. And so I come down here and I don't catch any. And then I might catch 2 or 3 or 4. So I'm going to run that video camera a little bit, but probably what I'll end up doing is running a little bit of video and turn it off and turn it back on every now and then. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, you know, you never know. I'm liable to catch a 10-pounder doing this. The last 10-pounder I caught, I was fishing with my buddy Red Berry down in Alabama. Caught it on a Red Man spinnerbait. I actually caught it on a Legend spinnerbait, not a Red Man spinnerbait, a Jimmy Houston Legend spinnerbait. And the deal was, we were fishing in March, and it was cold front in there, and I told him we ought to be slow rolling a half-ounce spinnerbait. And I tied one on for him, and I told him, I said, I'll just throw this Red Man, but you got the best bait. Well, I caught a couple of fish, and he said, I think I'll tie me on a Red Man. I said, here, just take this one, and I'll take the bait you got. And I did that, and I caught that big giant on it, over 10 pounds, over 11 pounds. And that's the way I remember it happening anyway. Red, how do you remember it, buddy? Oh, babe. Come on, fish, bite that bait. Going to crankbait, really fishing it a lot of different ways. Sometimes I just wind it in, about 8 or 10, 12 cranks like that and stop it. Doing some moving of the rod tip. Sometimes down like that. Sometimes up. Sometimes just wind. And they've actually hit it doing about everything. I can't find just a pattern where they hit it. I think they just happened to pull by one. If you're up over the top of him, he'll grab it. Sometimes when I stop and let it float back up a little bit, you know, that might get my bait a little bit higher, which might help. Other fish I might be going below, and if I'm going down below them, probably not going to catch them. Several of them I caught right up here close to the boat, though. So once I get close to the boat, I really try to finesse that thing and make that crankbait kind of really work in kind of a finesse pattern. I just throw in all directions because you never know where you're going to get them. I caught that great big one the other day, that 9.6 right out there. I was off down here a little ways down the dock and threw right straight out, a little bit to the right. I didn't crank it very much, so it wasn't very deep. The fish was probably heard it hit the top of the water, and then we saw that crankbait coming down through there. Looked like a big shad. She grabbed a hold of it. Maybe I'll catch her again. That would be good. You'd probably weigh less if she hadn't eaten a big shad, more if she'd just eaten a big shad. So good catching. She might weigh 9.5 or 9.8 or 9.9. Who knows? More than likely, she's not going to bite again for a while. But she might. I got caught eating a big old steak. I'll probably get caught eating another one. All right. Just what I thought. It takes a lot of casts sometimes to catch them. Okay. Well, I gave up on the bass. I fished about 45 minutes, never had a bite. And so I went in and got me a little crappie magic jig, with a little swimming minnow trailer on there. Actually, I think that's not a swimming minnow. That's a, can't remember what they call that tail now, honestly. Little crappie magic jig and a little fish lucky tail on it. That's a good little tail there. Oh, it's got really good action. Looks like a little shad. That's an 1/8 ounce jig I got on out there. I've caught a couple crappie here on that big crankbait while I've been bass fishing. And I actually caught one big crappie on a jig the other day, but that's all I've caught is like 3, I think, total. Okay, and 2 of those come on that big crankbait. So I really haven't caught much on a crappie jig. There's just not many hanging around the dock here. Their crappie are probably out there following those schools of shad as well. I mean, a big old gizzard shad are 6 and 8 inches long. So they're pretty good size, but the big old crappie, like we got a lot of 2.5 pound crappie, 3 pound crappie in here. They can definitely eat one of those big shad and will eat one of those big shad. Crappie's got a big mouth. They've got big mouths. They can eat pretty good sized baits. Everybody tries to fish with them with little tiny baits, especially in the wintertime. They go down to 32nd ounce jigs, 64th ounce jigs, 2 pound test line, 4 pound test line. I won't even let Chris sew buttons on my shirts with line that small. But I guess you can get a few bites in the wintertime that you won't get if you're fishing 8 pound tests like I've got on here. I like to fish 10 pound tests a lot. When you're really catching a lot of crappies, they don't really care. And a lot of times I have braided line on that's 20 pound test. Just tied directly to the jig. Use those little spike it line markers and color that braid about the last couple foot down before your jig, and color it black or green. And you know, you go to Bass Pro Shop, you can get those little line coloring pins. They got a little notch in them, you know, and they look like kind of like a Sharpie, but they're not. Got a little notch in them, and you color them green or black. You color them a lot of different colors, but that's 2 colors I like to color them, green and black. Sounds like the geese are getting ready for a takeoff. Well, so far, it's like an eagle. It's a bald eagle flying over there. That sure is. I know y'all can't see it. I can take it and zoom in on it. That's a bald eagle. Trust me. Trust me, it's a bald eagle out there. Can you see it over there? It's right up above the mountain over there. It's a bald eagle. That's what made them geese get all excited up that bald eagle flew over the top of them, and they thought, oh, Lordy, this is going to be a dangerous deal. Yep, there went the sun down over the mountains, getting a little bit darker. The bass have not been biting until late. This evening, nothing's biting. Thought I might get a bite on this crappie magic, but I haven't. Catch any fish, but that's pretty, isn't it? See that golden glow on the water? Isn't that pretty? Can't catch a fish on a crankbait, can't catch a fish on a crappie magic. Sometimes you just can't catch a fish. I promise you, if I don't catch one, y'all not gonna see any of this. That's a pretty sunset though. I'd like to show you that, but we have them a lot prettier than that. That is pretty. Every sunset's pretty. Every sunrise is special. Every sunset's pretty. Every sunrise means that God gave you another day. You might not make it through that day, but God gave you another day. It's up to you to make it through it. Golly, seemed like it'd be some crappie hanging around. Not hardly any though. I've caught grand spanking total of 3. Seemed like you'd catch a little bass or 2 on that little crappie magic. They'd catch a lot of bass on it. Not too many small bass hanging around though. Small bass are up in shallower water. About everything you catch out here in this deeper water. It's pretty nice sized fish. In fact, a lot of them are big fish, you know, 5, 6, 7 pounds. 5 pounds, 4 pounds anyway, a lot of 4 pounders. I'll take 4 pounders all day long and be tickled to death. Talked to my buddy Roland today. He's guiding at Headwaters. He charges $1,500 a day, but golly, that's a bargain to get to fish with Roland Martin. I almost said I'd pay $1,500 to fish with him, but I've fished with him 100 times. I hadn't paid him nothing. Oh, but he hasn't paid me nothing either, so that's a break-even deal, isn't it? But he said his party caught 75 bass yesterday at the Headwaters, and he said, but we didn't get any big ones. He said we had maybe 6 or 7 fish over 5 pounds is all day. 6 or 7, complaining about that. 6 or 7 over 5 pounds, and he said, ooh, I got a bite. I got a fish. I got a fish. And I didn't even feel that fish bite a bit, so it's probably a little bass. Oh, it's a little crappie. A little crappie. Tiny crappie. A little crappie. He is just barely would be big enough to eat. Not a big one at all. But I'm going to put him back. But Ellie got awfully excited. I got excited too. I finally caught one. I did not feel that fish bite. I felt a little heavy on there. So I raised my rod tip up and I had him. But back to that story about Roland. Roland said, I caught, we caught 75. We had really good, best day we've had number-wise all year so far. But only had about 5 or 6 fish over 5 pounds. And he said, and the biggest one of those is only 6 pounds and something. And I said, well, Roland, that's a pretty good. He was a great day, but we didn't catch any big fish. And he hadn't caught any. The fish I caught the other day, I told him how big that one was, 9 pounds, 6 ounces. He hadn't caught one that big this year. So he hadn't caught one. And he's fishing with shiners, live shiners. And, but he said, we probably had we caught a lot of 4-pounders though. He said, we probably had 25 or 30 4-pounders. And he's complaining. That's my buddy Roland. Well, by golly, we caught one. I might show you this after all. Look at that sunset now. The gold is getting closer to me, and see that gold on the top of the water? It's getting closer to me. Gold. I've got gold on the end of my bait out there. It's called a crappie magic jig. That's gold. It's cold out here. I wish I wore an old 30-year-old Ranger coat, 40-year-old Ranger coat. Don't know how old it is. Sure wish Ranger would make something. There's another fish. Sure wish Ranger would make another. It's another crappie. Sure enough. This one's definitely big enough to eat here. Not a whole lot bigger than the other one, but definitely quite a bit larger. Quite a bit larger than the other one. That little crappie magic bait right there. That little tail is just dynamite. Look at that. That's what's dynamite right there. Gosh, those fillets would taste good, wouldn't it? Benelli, no. Benelli grabbed a hold of her. She wants to get a hold of those bass so bad, or fish so bad. She don't care what fish it is. It's a crappie. She gets so excited. I told Chris today, I said, I sure wish she'd get as excited as she does. She told me, she said, you couldn't handle it. I agreed with her. All right, guys and girls, that's pretty good. I'm gonna include this in the rats video. I might just start doing a little video, and I know a lot of guys go down to the lake and fish and just talk about their fishing, don't catch much. At least I caught 2. Oh, there's another one. Right here, right by the boat. Right by the boat. I'm not in a boat. Jimmy. Standing on the dock. Another nice size crappie. Not a giant, not like the size I caught on the big crankbait down here. That's 3 though. That's 3 this evening. That's a pretty nice one. It's a good 11-inch crappie. That's a good crappie right there. Oh, Manila. See, that one's right here close by. I wonder what happens if I just drop down. They usually quit when that sun goes behind that mountain of crappie. I just need to pick my crankbait back up and throw it around a little bit and see if I can catch a bass. A lot of those really big fish. This line's a little twisted. A lot of those really big fish that I've been catching right before dark. It's like they're trying to come out and feed at night or something. They're all the way down to the bottom and kind of just swimming around just a little bit. What I was doing to that one, I worked it all the way back. Just swimming around. Look at there, right down on the bottom, caught another one. How about that? Oh God, look at this one. Kind of funny looking. You ever catch one of those? Huh? Can't fillet that. I did get a bite though. I swear I got a bite. I had a fish and it come off. I promise you that. I didn't feel that grass bite it. I felt the fish bite it. I got Barbara's hooks. He got away. I'll twist it up a little bit. Need to get a big bass on to straighten that line out, huh? Okay, it's on the bottom. The fish was right down close to that bottom. That's a pretty good deal right there. I'm gonna throw it back out there and work it. Throw that just a little while. It's not very far. Let it go down pretty deep. And I think right at the top of that grass. They may be in the grass and coming out of that grass and biting that bait. Well, my bait's hung on that grass I threw down the water. Feel where it's swimming up here by the dock. Almost caught for it in the. That's grass there. That was not a bite. That was grass. All right, one more cast, and I think I'm getting cold. Cold out here. Got down to 26 degrees last night. Tomorrow is going to be 70, maybe 73, 74, 75. South wind going to blow like a banshee. Big fire danger all over Oklahoma. My babies come up in the yard again. They're over there in the yard. Let's see. 2, 3. That's all. Let's see. Oh, it's grass. It's such a soft bite that hard to tell. You feel anything kind of a little extra weight on there, you need to raise your rod tip, set the hook every time. Because it sure could be a fish. I'm gonna try one more cast with this, and I'm gonna go back. Throw that crankbait 8 or 10 more times. See if maybe a big old bass will grab a hold of it. What have I caught? 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's not too bad. Not too good. There's a lot of people today didn't catch 3 fish, though. I can tell you that. Most of them didn't go fishing, but about all of them probably didn't go fishing. We're going to catch them tomorrow because we're going to fish all day. I can't wait. Right after this cold front, it's probably not going to be easy. But south wind's going to be blowing. Warmer air is going to be happening. And we're going to be out there in that big Ranger boat where we can find them. We'll go looking for them, hunting them down. They don't have to be hanging around the dock. I go hunt them down, find them. Come on, one more. Uno más, por favor. La pesca. Pesca, mi amiga. Come on, baby. Get up close to the dock. I think there's some hanging underneath this dock. I'll run out there and grab it every now and then. Okay, I think I'll throw that big crankbait. Okay, we never did catch another bass, but I look up there in the yard. Never did catch another bass. Never caught a bass, period. Never had a bite. I look up there in the yard, and I got a couple of my babies up there. Hey, babies. Aren't they beautiful? Well, I guess there's 3 of them up there. I couldn't see that other one back there. Those aren't the same ones that I run off when we first come down here. But I caught 3 crappie. That was better than nothing. But there's three nice, beautiful deer there. That middle one looks like it could be fat. Boy, that's a big old fat deer. Can't see if he's got any nubbins started yet or not. Those won't be nubbins. Those will be big antlers. Big giant 8-point. Don't see any tag in those deer, so those are totally wild deer. But very nice. That's a pretty amazing zoom on these iPhone 17s. 24 times it says. That's not 24 times zoom, I know, but it's maybe 10 or 12 times zoom. I don't know what that means, 24. Might be something metric-wise, might be a different deal, I don't know. I know 24 times is what it says on the screen, so I'll just go along with that. The beauty right there. It's pretty dark, too. And yet, I'm seeing them up there. I couldn't even see the other deer with just my eyes. That's how dark it is. And the house looks nice up there. Except for my broken down porch. My porch is broken down. My dock is broken down. My knees are broken down. I'm broken down. This is in there watching television. You see the television through the window? Better go up there and put my cold hands on their bottom and warm them up. Jimmy, you can't say things like that. I know I can't, but I can do things like that.